Welcome once again to the Coach Jason Reuter Coaches Show here on the BCHS Bear Network. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey, being joined as always by Coach Jason Reuter, and he brought a couple of more Bearettes to talk to this week. Coach, first off, let's let you go ahead and introduce the two Bearettes you brought with you here today.
Certainly. I got McKenna Miles here to my immediate left. She's a sophomore. Then we have Caitlin Lefford, who's a junior. And they're not rookies anymore. They've both been in the program 2 years and 3 years. So proud to have them here this morning, and looking forward to tonight's ball game.
Well, we'll get a chance to talk to them in just a moment, but you keep rolling right along, Coach. I think 17 straight wins now, and a lot of those were in a sort of a blowout, I guess we could say. And every year you set your goal to reach a state tournament. I know this year is no different. Last year, late in the year, knock on wood, we lost a couple of starters to injury. Your point guard and your inside post player, Anna Walker and Jemiah Williams, were both out for the postseason, part of the postseason. But has this year, with coronavirus and all the mess that's going on with that, has it been as big a challenge to you? I mean, trying to juggle things around with practice and players being out, and I know you have to handle that, but how big a challenge has it been for you?
Well, it was certainly the 21-day layoff was a huge challenge when we were, all activities were shut down. That's something no one has ever went through. The biggest thing you've went through, but in the past, it's a couple snow days. Mm-hmm. You have a flu outbreak maybe, and you hope only 2 or 3 girls gets it. I guess I'm showing my age. Somebody asked me, have you ever had a season where you didn't have someone out with the flu? I said, I've never had one. But, now nothing really seems to matter other than COVID. So, knock on wood, it's been tough juggling the delays in the season and the uncertainty, but I'll take, with all things considered, I'll take where we're at right now. When you girls, I think for the most part, we're pretty healthy, and we've got no major injuries right now. So
yeah, knock
maybe
on wood again, yeah.
Well, the more times you practice, the more times you play, the chances of injuries go up.
Right.
That doesn't make you better. You have to practice to get better, and you have to play to get better. I've told you before in the past shows, the only thing I'm concerned about, we didn't get to go off and play some nationally ranked teams that we've done in the past, and we played everybody on our schedule that we could play. Mm-hmm. We had some things canceled.
Threw in a game with Upperman, which was
not
not
with Upperman, our only loss this year. As far as our work ethic and all that, nothing's changed, but part of our season was interrupted, and just trying to find out some of our weaknesses against some of the best teams, quite frankly, not in just Tennessee, but in the nation. That part is missing, but I'll take where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, the 2 young ladies you brought here, Caitlin and McKenna, obviously they're not starters at this point in their careers, but who knows, it could be next year. But you can bring them off the bench like you can with a lot of them. You've had the luxury, and you've said this before, you're a very blessed coach, to have a squad this deep that you can bring in with no drop-off in production. You can go to the post players inside. You can go to your wing players, you point. There's always somebody else there to back them up. And a lot of these girls would be starting for any school in our district or in the whole area if they were not here, I guess you could say. Look at it that way, because that's how good they are. That's how deep your team is. But you've had a lot of girls step up this year. Maybe surprising, maybe to me, the most improved, one of the most improved, not maybe the most, is Hannah Jones, who's just a young sophomore, who's really come into her own. She's learned the ins and outs of the game, I guess, through your coaching and through her own hard work. She is just barely a tenth of a point, I think, behind your leading scorer, who's Anna Mahonen, for the team. And Anna's a senior, of course, going to lead later on. But you got a lot to build on. You got these 2 young girls returning here, but it's I've said a lot here, but it's a lot. I mean, it's a luxury to have players, young players. You got freshmen on in the program that are contributing, and you got sophomores are playing a lot, just like McKenna here, and Caitlin is a junior.
Well, that's the strength of our program. They've heard that from me, I don't know, 20, 30 times this year. I said the strength of the Bearettes is not just one person. I said it's the amount of players that we have, and no one's perfect. I don't know that we have, we don't have a team full of all-stars. Our leading point producer is 13.8 points, Hannah Mahonen. And we got a lot of girls that are doing other things.
But you take all those smaller averages and add them up.
Yeah, it's all about, Ryan Howard averaged 22 points a game her senior year. She could have averaged 32 points a game.
Easy.
But we were better off with the combination we had. If she'd averaged 33 or 4 points a game, we would not have been as good. So we have girls right here, as you just said, McKenna and Caitlin could be. I don't mean that as a negative. Someone could spin that around and say, well, you could be playing more if you were at a different school. But I think the reason they came to Bradley Central was get an education and try to play for the best basketball team. And their future is still ahead of them. But they know that the thing I'm worried about right now is tonight's what? I'm worried about who? Saudi Daisy.
Yeah.
And their time.
Should be.
Their time. That's one of the biggest things we're fighting. And maybe youth sports is how quick can I play? And everybody wants to play, but sometimes it's a little bit of a tortoise in the hare. Who can outlast? Mm-hmm. Who can keep on? And we're 18-1 for a reason, and these two girls are a big part of it. And I'm looking forward to the future with them. But right now, I'm worried about today, and then after tonight, we'll worry about practice on Wednesday, and then we got a busy week. I know we're favored in all 3 games, but when you play Tuesday, senior night tonight, we go down to East Ham on Thursday. We got a district meeting tomorrow to try to get things in order for the district tournament, and then we go down. We got Knox Catholic coming down here Saturday. That is a varsity only, 2:30. We play Knox Catholic, girls varsity only, and then the boys play Warren County at 4. Mm-hmm. I know you'll get that out on there, but anyhow, busy week, and I've always addressed the season. I've always looked at it like before Christmas, tournaments, after was 1/3, and then the tournament is the other block. And we are winding down that second block, mm-hmm. and we're doing all this really to get ready for that third block, which is coming up. And so far,
most important block, too.
The most important block to me. I'd rather win in tournament time and take a few learning lumps on the way.
Do you see anything tomorrow? You mentioned is our district meeting where we'll all gather and the coaches will select the all district team for the regular season. They'll name the 2 coaches of the year for boys and girls. Do you see any thing unusual or surprises or controversial coming out of that meeting tomorrow? I mean, sometimes we get sidetracked with things, but it's different this year. I tell you what, let's talk about this. We're going to be playing for the first time in district play, at least in modern times. The higher seed team will host their game that they're involved in, both boys on one night and girls on the other night. Do you like that format where, like the Bearettes have won the district, you're rewarded? I see it as a reward for your season-long drive to be number 1. Same with the boys. It looks like it's going to be Cleveland or East Hampton that will win that one. But is that a good concept? And you think we could move forward with that with the TSSAA want to go back to a central site next year, you think? Or
they don't really care. They don't really care how you do your district. They get involved. They take money from your district tournament, but I don't mean that negatively towards the TSSAA. I'm just saying they don't care what format you have.
Yeah.
They say you can even skip your district tournament.
Yeah.
So they don't care if we have one site, higher seed. We're in uncharted territory. We've never went through this before. There's things financially that we could be, on this show for an hour talking about. We're the number 1 seed. I know we got to play Saudi and East Ham. Mm-hmm. But I think even if we lost,
you've clinched it because
we've swept Cleveland.
Yeah.
So you've got things like buys that you're getting penalized for now financially, or you would have gotten. You shouldn't penalize a team because they got buys. You understand? Shares of the tournament.
You've earned that.
So now you're getting buys that you will not be getting shares of the gate.
Where you would if it was centralized.
Yes. So
I hadn't thought about that.
So there's so many different angles to this. So I think it's okay this year because of COVID, but I think you'll see us go back to one central location. And then, of course, in the region, we have decided to reward the higher seeded
Right.
team when it's your to have it. But
And if that's in the first round now, will it be that way throughout the region, the higher seed team?
Absolutely.
Like we do in the district?
yes, it's our, now here's the only deal is, let's say we get down to a 1 playing a 1 in the finals. That's a tie. There is no higher seed. But it's our year to host the region. So it would come,
Right. It'd come
if
this
you
way.
got to that point, yeah.
To our number one here then. Well, one thing about with this being spread out like this, it's a challenge for us guys in the media, me being in radio and the guys in the newspaper business too, because we got 3 local teams that we all cover, boys and girls. So we could have all 3 girls teams and all 3 boys teams playing at different locations on the same night. So you got to figure out what you're going to do there, and it's a challenge, but that's okay.
And you have different attendance policies at different places, so it's, I know we're at 1/3, so I'm encouraging anybody to come out. I don't think you'll get turned away. We have a pretty large gym, and I think we can handle, the Bradley-Cleveland game could be if we get to that point, could be a cutoff game, but we'll worry about that when we get there.
And we'll get to these 2 young ladies in just a moment, but I want to ask you one more thing. Tonight is senior night, and I'm going to talk to all those on the radio tonight, but remind the folks out there who your 4 seniors are.
Our 4 seniors are Anna Mahonen,
Who's Simon Lee?
Simon Lee University, Kelsey Carmen, who is signed with Covenant to play volleyball. Had an offer to play basketball also, but right now she's going to play volleyball. Jemiah Williams, who has not committed anywhere yet, but I don't think that's done. I think that she very well will have some people offer her. And then you have Ashton Estrada, who has committed to Bryan College over in Dayton.
That's pretty good. 3 out of 4. It looks like it can play college ball for
I think Jemiah will have,
hopefully.
I think she'll have some offers.
She deserves it.
I almost guarantee you she'll have some offers, yeah.
She's fought back through the knee injury and all that, and hope she gets an opportunity to play in college, everything. Let's talk to these young ladies here. They look so different here with their hair down instead of pulled back in a ponytail. I see them sometimes at school, and I don't even recognize them when I pass them in the hall. Sometimes they holler at me and everything. But let's talk with McKenna Miles. You're a sophomore. We'll get to the junior here in just a minute. But McKenna, I always like to ask, when did you start playing ball, and where did you play? Walk us through up to Bradley.
I started playing when I was 4, and I started at the YMCA. I was the youngest one there. Couldn't dribble a ball to save my life.
Ball as big as you are, probably.
Yes. But I started when I was 4, and it just started from there. Yep.
Middle school, where'd you go?
I went to Polk County for my 6th and 7th grade year, and then I came to Lake Forest my 8th grade year.
Okay. And Caitlin, where'd you start out?
I started at Oak Grove in 2nd grade.
And went on to middle school ball? Where at?
Lake Forest.
Lake Forest there. And now, this is the tall and short sort of here. Now, how tall are you, Caitlin?
5'6".
5'6". I thought you were a little taller than that. Now, McKenna?
5'6".
5'6" as well, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so you got
McKenna's
room to
mother
grow.
played here. Her mother's a former Bearette.
Yes.
Who's your mom?
Sherrywood.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I did not know that.
You're
Learned
learning
some.
live on air. You're learning.
Yeah.
Caitlin's parents, I think, are both Bradley graduates.
My mom graduated at Cleveland.
Oh, okay. We won't hold that against you.
Well, as part of
So
the
did my
Bearette.
wife.
That's, yeah. Didn't have to bring that up, do we? How do you feel about the team right now, Caitlin? You guys are playing pretty good. You've won a bunch of games in a row. We stubbed our toe at Epperman, but they're unbeaten. They're ranked number 1 in AA for a reason. They're really, really good.
Yeah, I think we're doing pretty good so far, but if we do face anything like we did last year, I think we can pull through.
Is Coach still as hard on you in practice this time of year as he was back in the summertime and all that? And
Yes.
I like that. Is he hard to play for? I mean, he's old school. I mean, we've all seen him in action out there.
He's not hard to play for. It's just you gotta listen to his tone and not his words.
A phrase we heard last week, I believe, McKenna.
Yes.
You feel like the same way there?
Yes.
Are you topped out height-wise? Are either one of you going to grow any taller? The doctors that
I'm done. I'm done.
you're done.
Yes.
You're done. Okay. So what can you do to improve your skills? I'm not going to ask you what your weakest point is because somebody might hear this and want to attack that. But what would you like to be better at?
I always get told my feet are faster than my head sometimes, so I'd like to work on that and try to slow down maybe some.
Well, you're extremely fast. You and Jemiah, maybe the two fastest on the team, I'm guessing. Is that right, Coach? She may be a little faster with Mariah wearing that brace. I mean, Jemiah wearing that brace.
Yeah, I would. I'd have to sit down and really study if I was going to bet on a foot race. I mean, McKenna would definitely be in. If we were talking about the length of the basketball floor, I might have to bet on McKenna Miles. Yes, for anybody off this team. We got some fast girls now, but she may be, just a quick burst. She probably is our quickest girl.
Yeah. And Caitlin's near and dear to my heart because she's left-handed. I've seen her pop.
Caitlin is a three-point shooter, and she definitely has worked at that. And I'm not going to speak for her. Her strength, as I see, is shooting the ball, and she's a lefty. And sometimes those lefties, they have that kind of a sweeter left-handed shot, and she's definitely, that's what we count on her doing, and in the future that will be her specialty. But she's also working on being able to go both ways, both hands. So,
does coaches? Speaking of left-handers, I've heard from the bench you say, "Hey, she's right-handed, push her to the other way." Or defensively, you're looking to and tell the girls you coach them that way. Say, "Hey, make her go to her left or to her right because that's her weak side." Is that something that is emphasized when you're scouting a team and looking at video and all that? As girls, is that what he will tell you?
Yes.
Because obviously everybody has a dominant hand, unless you're ambidextrous, which very few people have equal.
Very few players can drive equally with both hands, like you just said. But there's some you got to play straight up. Some are so one-sided that you can angle your body to make sure they don't go that way, or at least interrupt their driving. That's something we talk about when we watch film, and we try to know our personnel as much as you can.
Yeah, what's the tendencies of what the other
tendencies
team
are,
likes to do or tries to do?
Yeah, well, this is not the University of Bradley. We're a high school. These kids are in class all day. They go to school. They go to 4 classes, and then they come to me for practice. I mean, we may sit down and watch a film session. I don't think we ever watch film over probably like 30 minutes at a time. But we're trying to, one game may require no film, just talking, and another team may require a couple sessions of 30-minute film watching. That don't sound like much, but you watch film for 30 minutes, you practice for 2 hours, and you lift weights for 45 minutes. Hey, it's dinner time, and then you got an hour and a half of homework. And it's time to go to bed. So the commitment to these young ladies make to, number one, to Bradley Central High School, and number two, to me, and then to each other. I think there's a certain bond that you guys have. I mean, they may grow together more than we even realize as adults. We just assume that, everybody has issues and everybody has good days and bad days, but I think one thing that about being a Bearette here is you have a family within this school system, within these walls. You've got a family.
Got your back.
It's more than just basketball.
Yeah.
And that's
obvious.
That's what, I'm not going to say that winning's not important. It is, but I think that's the bigger, sometimes we miss the fact that there's more to this than just basketball. But it is a lot more fun when you win, isn't it, ladies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Caitlin was around. We won the state title. McKenna, you were a year away. Hopefully, there's another one in our future here pretty soon, maybe this year. Things fall the right way. God bless us and everything, and everybody's health and all that. But and it's not like this. That's what I've emphasized so many times over the years to different athletes in different sports. The Bearettes program has set a standard way up high that not many schools will ever accomplish. And you have to understand it's just not like this everywhere to be in a program of this magnitude. And I've talked to athletes at other schools and announcers who do what I do on the radio, and they never dream of even going to state tournament. Well, that's our goal every year. It's not a dream, it's a goal for us. And they've never been there. They don't know what it's like to walk out there mid-court, for a state championship game and get that ring and all that. But I hope you understand that. I hope you appreciate it. Never take it for granted, because around here, I'm bad about it too. We sometimes take things for granted when we expect, well, what's wrong? The Bears, they lost a game, Now,
Or we win by 10.
Yeah, well,
Instead of 30,
It's pitiful, but that's the way just human nature will do sometimes. But any last thoughts, Coach? We got the game tonight. Thursday night we'll be on the road to East Hamilton, and back here Saturday. That's a 2:30 game Saturday with Knox Catholic prior to the boys' game in Warren County. But any final thoughts about senior night coming up tonight?
Well, I hope anybody can make it. I hope they come out, and it is about these young ladies, and we got two that are not seniors here that we're showcasing today. But there's 4 girls who have given their sweat and blood and effort for this program. And if you're a Bradley fan, or you just like to watch good high school basketball, I'd encourage you to come out tonight. I think I'll leave it with this. One thing that the COVID thing brought to my attention is, the fans and the cheerleaders not being there. I felt bad for those girls so many games. We had games where we restricted to two people per player, and we all like to play. It's not about me. I might enjoy it better without. Well, I don't really. I like to see people at the ball game. It's entertainment. It's supposed to be fun, and I'm glad we're back at least 1/3 capacity. And I think these girls enjoy playing in front of an audience. Not to be.
They do.
Yeah. Instead of so, I think that's something that I'll never take for granted again. That our fans that had to miss. I had a lot of phone calls and texts. Can you get me in? Can you get me in? And, you're kind of restricted there. But thank goodness we're back to 1/3.
Yeah, and we've had 2 really good, loud, noisy crowds the last 2 games last week, both home games there, and it made a difference. The cheerleaders are back. I mean, you don't realize how much you miss the cheerleaders out there, and I know there's girls miss, especially the seniors. There's 3 senior cheerleaders, and they'll be on there tonight as well. But it's good to have the crowd back. Let me ask you one more question before we wrap up here. We know what the arrangements would be for East Hamilton Thursday night, so we can let people know? Is this still restricted severely down there like it has been?
The last trip we made to Hamilton County was Wednesday of last week, and we were told two people per player.
Okay.
That was a Saudi Daisy. It was a makeup game. Mm-hmm. There was hardly anybody there. It was just a girls only on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. We played it. Help me out, girls. We played like 3:30 and 5. JV was 3:30.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah,
5.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
As far as I know, I'll find out. Stay tuned. Maybe you can announce it tonight.
That's why I was asking.
Announce it tonight.
Yeah.
As I know right now, Hamilton County is, last I heard, was two tickets per player and coaches. So.
Well, hopefully none of our tournament games have to be played down there for any of our teams, because it's awful, especially to get to the tournament, because that could be the last go-around. Will be the last go-around for teams as they get eliminated. But
there'll be some. I think Saudi and Ottawa will be 6 and 7, but they'll be playing each other. Mm-hmm. Then Walker Valley or East Hamilton will be 4 and 5. That's still yet to be determined.
That's
so
up,
there's going to be some. There'll be some tournament games there, but I hope it won't be against us.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we wish the Bearettes the best of luck the rest of the season. And Caitlin, McKenna, thank both of you for being here today. We're going to let you get back to the classroom here in just a moment. But until next time, we encourage you folks, please come to the game tonight, Thursday night at East Hamilton, if it's allowed. We're not sure, but we will be allowed here this Saturday afternoon at 2:30 when the Bearettes play again. You must wear your mask to get in. You will have your temp checked at the gate, so expect that. Otherwise, come and cheer your head off for the Bearettes and the Bears when they play our home games. We'll have that district meeting tomorrow morning. We'll find out what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, and who the all district players are and coach of the year as well at that time. We'll have all that information for you on our Thursday night broadcast on Mix 104.1. Until next time, Coach Reuter, McKenna, Caitlin, thank you for being here. This is Gary Ownbey saying God bless and go Bearettes.